Day 17 of the 40-day soul fast by Dr. Cindy Trames. Today's chapter focuses on the power of receiving. She quotes here, "If you want to progress in life, you have to think progressive thoughts. And the best place to receive them from is the Creator. But don't be surprised if you encounter resistance from people confined by preconceived analog assumptions, limited by what they've only known before now. Be willing to shift your paradigm even when those around you are not." While reading this sentence, I'm being reminded about the story of David when he came before Goliath. But just before he went into the battlefield, he first encountered his brothers and King Saul. Most of them looked down on him because they felt like he was small, he was not even a soldier. How is it possible that he can face Goliath? To the point that one of his brothers even said to stop being prideful and to leave. They did not believe in David because even they themselves in the battlefield, they couldn't face Goliath. Goliath would come out every time to mock them and they would get scared. Every single one of them, David's brothers, including the Israelite soldiers, they would all get scared. So of course, they're thinking to themselves, if as huge as they are, they can't face Goliath, there's no way a little boy like David, who has never been in the battlefield before, there's no way this little boy can just come out from nowhere and say that he can defeat Goliath. But what did David do? David came out anyways, and by the grace of God, David defeated Goliath. Imagine if David had decided to be like, oh, well, my brothers have said I can't fight, so that means, I can't. And I think this happens with us in our lives, whereas you may have really big dreams that God has called you to accomplish, and then you will have people around you who will say, are you sure that you can accomplish that? Is that even possible? Just a quick story about myself. I remember when I was in my teenage years, I would say, I wanted to work in the corporate. And I remember a family member saying to me that you're not going to get an opportunity in the corporate world because you're a black girl. They're not going to give you that opportunity. And I was like, I never, for some reason, I really feel like God protected me from that comment because I never really took it to heart. I felt like God just protected a form of belief in me that by His grace, that place that this person said that I could not occupy, years down the line, God has planted me in those spaces. And it wasn't just this person that said this to me. I remember one time I was working in a home and I was talking to a colleague and he said to me, oh, why are you studying this course? This people, they will not give you jobs. They will not give you opportunities. And in my head, I'm thinking, first of all, I'm not coming from the mindset of I'm waiting for a certain race to give me an opportunity. I may work in the corporate for a while. I may venture into my own business. Who knows? But don't just, measure down my course to me wanting to work for these people and that they would not give me that opportunity. And right then, I'm not going to lie, I rejected what he was saying. By God's grace, God protected me from that comment. And even with that, God still planted me in these spaces that these people have said that I could not occupy. I just thought to share that because of that comment where she made around, being willing to shift our paradigm. They might tell you that you can't do it, but as long as you believe that you can do it, then you can do it. I'm sorry, but if there are people like Elon Musk doing great things out there, if there are people like the Wright brothers who would, create an aeroplane, then you can do it. No matter how crazy that idea is, you can do it. No matter what anyone says, even if it looks impossible, you can do it. Don't let anyone dull your shine. Do not let anyone tell you that you cannot reach those dreams or your potential. You can. If there are people in the world that you and I look up to that are reaching their potentials and more, that means that you can do it and even do it better as well. Okay? And she goes on here to say, God is ready to download thoughts, answers, solutions, and ideas, and to pass them through your thoughts and mind to benefit the world. Are you ready to receive it? There's an example of Peter and someone else in the Bible who went to the temple. I can't remember who the other person is, but they went to the temple, right? And they saw a beggar out there, in the street. And of course, as usual, the beggar was asking for alms because that's what he would typically receive. If they said, silver and gold, I do not have, but we have the name of Jesus Christ. Imagine if that beggar decided to be like, what do you mean by the name of Jesus Christ? I don't want that. Just give me arms and keep it moving. But he recognized, he knew at least, that by the time he was able to get up from that place with the name of Jesus, he would not have to sit down there begging for alms anymore. So the blessing that he was waiting on, or that he was not even praying for, came to him. But he was ready to receive it. Whether the alms looked in the form of him getting his healing, or getting it in the form of a coin or gold, he was in a posture of receiving. What are the things that we've asked God to bless us with, and they came in a way that we did not expect, and we said, because it doesn't look like it, keep it moving? Ooh, that's a question for me as well. That's a question for me as well. Okay, ask yourself that question. Let's end this video with, what are the things that we have asked God to bless us with, but when it came, it did not look like it, and we said, keep it moving, I don't want it? Let me just end this video with this question. So that will be the end of day 17 for me. I will see you in day 18.